A little bit of food, wine, and culture, all for a good cause. That was the scene tonight at the KEDT Food and Wine Classic. This is the 31st annual Food and Wine Classic at the Museum of Science and History. The event features savory dishes from local restaurants, all to be paired with a selection of wine, of course, right? Money from tonight's event will help the PBS affiliate on the air and then allow for continued educational program like some of your favorites, Sesame Street, for example.
And we use the money to buy programming like Sesame Street and our children's programming. And also it's a good opportunity for us to meet our viewers and listeners that are in the audience of the station that we entertain on a daily basis.
And the station's general manager says the station also uses events like tonight's to find out what else they can offer their audience, kind of, what the goals are and all of that jazz.